And hello, my fellow nerds. This is Oracle Nerd here, and welcome back once again to our Wonderland. We're finally going to be finishing this game off with Gidget's after story. I'm actually very excited to see what happens in this one because this is actually the last. So this is honestly going to be the last bit of content that we're going to be getting for our Wonderland. That at least from what I can tell, because this is the full remastered version, and I'm actually very glad to finally be finishing this game. So let's not waste any time. Let's just get right to Gidget's after story. I'm so excited to see what happens next. I really want to see how everything goes. September 13th, 2016. Ooh, okay. This calming music. No, 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 not there. We need this to scream welcoming and fun, not funeral procession. I see. You associate my contributions with death. No, it's just, look, it just needs to be more like congregational. We're not forming lines here. I find cues to be orderly and effective in organizing these masses. For casual meetup? Cecil, please, this isn't meet the queer. Do not look at me like that. I already agreed to let you bring the kettle, which is gonna raise enough brows as is. I stand in the doorway of the small event room, just listening to them for a few minutes, with my hand clutched around the strap of my messenger bag, idly massaging the leather. It's no different than the altercations I hear at home on a daily basis, but somehow watching Gidget dash around now, moving chairs, rearranging food items on the table, all while Cecil stands stock still with that ever-present glower of his is enough to bring a small chuckle to my lips. Big name sticker affixed to his shirt, complete with a cheery smiley face that only adds to the overarching farce. I'm sure Betty will appreciate the choice of a cup of tea as opposed to this sweetened concoction. Cecil's gaze flicks towards the large punch bowl, currently occupying the end of the table with disdain. It's called punch. People like it. I imagine they'd enjoy a punch to the face, too. Would be more pleasurable. Gidget sighs, running a hand through their hair before standing back from the trays with the sandwiches and baked goods they'd been arranging. Would you go check on the music? I want to make sure it's connected to the speakers properly. Caesar's eyes go skyward. He's silent for a moment, then turns crisply and walks away, disappearing into the back room. I watch as Gidget turns back to the circle of chairs and hands on their hips as they study the assemblage of furniture before finally walking all the way inside. Either the sudden movement or the sound of my tennis shoes in the linoleum must catch their attention, because they quickly jerk their head up. Oh, we're not ready yet. They blink before their face breaks out into a large grin. Hey, you said you were coming. They come trotting over, immediately finding my hands, giving them an excited little shake squeeze combo. Yeah, well, I guess I changed my mind. I mutter in a sheepish admission as my gaze drops almost guiltily to the floor. To be told, I'm still not especially keen on it. Being forced into conversations with strangers isn't exactly my cup of tea. But the longer I'd stay at home by myself, feeling like a putz for not being there to support Gidget in their hopeful endeavors, the worse I'd felt. Until my feet had eventually led the rest of my reluctant frame out the door. Do you, need any help with anything? I flew a gaze around the small interior of the event room as if I'd even know what to do if asked. I wouldn't. Gidget's hands goes to her hips, their brows furrowed in thought. Quiet a moment, then... Oh, the name tags. They slapped their fists into their palm. We still need to cut them. I shuffle along after Gidget as they head towards the small table near the front door. Watch as they tug open the flaps of the small box and leaf through the thick stack of rectangular stickers within. Or... They pause again, lost in thought. Do you think we should cut them? I don't know. I thought it'll be easier, yeah? Otherwise everyone will have to be crowded around here. Cutting seems good. Let's cut. I laugh. Right, yeah. Exactly. Then they're bouncing back towards the front table to grab a pair of scissors from the small case of supplies. As they're on their way back, some rock song from the 50s starts blasting through the speakers, making us both jump. Cecil! I bring a hand to my mouth with a small grin and watch the Gidget practically trip over themselves over the rapid about face. Cecil, this is not aerobics class. No sweating to the oldies. Nothing for a moment. Then the song switches to some quiet, unassuming jazzy number, rich in sultry tones. It doesn't seem 100% pleased, but it must be good enough because they decided to resume their trek towards me with the cutting apparatus. They brushed their hair back of their eyes and slapped the scissors down with a metallic clank. I'm really glad you're here. It means a lot. A smile. Of course. They chuckle softly. Perhaps at me, perhaps at the situation, perhaps just because they're clearly frazzled out of their mind. Anyway, yeah, cut these. Then people can just grab one and leave. No pile up at the door. We've got plenty of markers and pens too, so that won't be a problem. Aye aye, Captain. I struck an enthusiastic salute, which just makes Gidget roll their eyes in amusement. I need to go finish the food, and hopefully Cecil stops messing around back there and can grab some extra chairs in case we don't have enough. They start thumping their hands together as they glance around the room. Starting slow, then faster and faster as they watch their brows crease further and further in worry. Gidget, I finally say. And then again, when they enter. Gidget! This time with a light touch on their shoulder. They turn with a start, blue eyes wide and blinking. Gidget, I'll be fine. Will it? It'll be fine. Will it though? They press their lips together into an anxious line. More hand thumping. I just really want people to have a nice time and that people will show up and the gaze looks downwards. I guess I just don't know. Yeah, just, you know, Lambrook. We never really had anywhere to go, right? Growing up and all that. But I hope that could change. That more and more people can feel safe and welcome opening up. Can find a community. Can have a chance to figure themselves out. Yeah, I know. It'll be fine. People will love it. I give their shoulder a reassuring shake. Even if it starts small, they'll just give it more room to grow. Plus, hey, who can resist free cookies? Gidget laughs, finally letting some of the tension out of their arms. Yeah, you're right. Everybody's gonna start somewhere, yeah? Even if it's just a jazzy assemblage at the Lakeside Event Center. This gives them a good chuckle. Hey, at least the view will be nice on the walk up, if anything. They clap their hands together. Right, let's get to it then. We've only got a glance at the watch. 24 minutes before people might start showing up. Let's make sure they never want to leave. Mildly terrifying, but okay. At that moment, the music changes to a rapid-raising rendition of some poppy oldies tune, making my heart leap in my chest and scissors rattle on the table. Cecil Harvey, turn it back or I'm demoting you from music duty! Oh my god, I love this already. They keep it simple with the name Lambrook Queer Meetup. They turned down Cecil's suggestions of queers for face. Oh my god. Lambrook's first local meetup group for anyone identifying as LGBTQIA+, to come together, chat, socialize, make new friends, and find support. They've been planning, and freaking out about it, for months, finally starting the advertisements and flyers just a few weeks ago once they secured free space at the Lakeside Event Center. It sounds grand, but it's just a small building next to one of the Lambrook's central ponds. It'll be the first one for Lambrook, that's for sure. Is there something bigger? Who can say? But no, it's been really important to Gidget. I had asked them why they didn't try to start one at Dukin, as they likely get a lot more traction. That they're in a bigger, more progressive city, but they refused. And though I don't always follow their reasoning about things, with this, I can see why. This is our city, our home, where we grew up. Wanted to make it more welcoming for people trying to figure themselves out, for kids, teens, and teens feeling lost and isolated, like we'd been. Well, that means something. Paving the way so that those who come after us can live more confidently, more openly. So I hadn't pushed it. Even as they fretted and frantic about whether anyone would even show up. What about Orlum? Surely he'd make an appearance. I had asked at one point. Only to receive a giant sigh from Gidget as they flopped into the living room couch, one arm aimlessly over the forehead. Are you kidding? He hates this type of stuff. Genzo? And then I groaned. He's even less likely. Also, what's the point if only our friend group shows up? I think I'd just die. I glanced over at them as their words ring in my head. See them gesticulating something wildly at Cecil, who's got 2 chairs tucked under his arms and is looking on in blank bemusement. I really hope this goes well for them. And I hope it's not a horrible experience for me either. I'm not looking forward to social interaction. It doesn't help that I often feel like I don't belong in these types of groups to begin with. Over here. I'm the guy who doesn't have sex. Nice to meet you. Please don't judge me for trying to fit in. I carefully cut through the pile of name stickers, watching them fall one at a time onto the table, the smiling faces beaming up at me as though trying to inject me with optimism. But mostly I just feel nervous. The clock keeps ticking closer and closer to 6. Another late jazzy number starts drifting through the small room, twirling around the empty circle of chairs. I finish my duties to scatter the pile of freshly cut name tags across the table next to the markers, hands in my pockets as I amble backwards towards the others. Gidget keeps looking at the door, then at the clock, then back at the door. Cecil starts the kettle, returning impassively with a mug of tea. I slouch down on one of the chairs, my chin in my hands and lip pulled up between my teeth, chewing at it idly. The clock hits 6. Passes 6. Gidget's face starting to darken. I can see their brow quivering. Cecil slurps noisily at his tea. Crap. Gidget looks back at me with a little frown. I can almost hear the tremble in their voice as they start to open their mouth. But the voice I hear next isn't theirs. Instead, a masculine one from over by the door. Is this the right place for the, meetup? All 3 of us turn easily towards the door, and the young, rather insecure-looking man stands in the doorway. Yes, Gidget nearly shouts, starts towards him, half trips. Yes, they say again, with slightly less empathetic desperation as they find their balance. Yes. They brush back their hair with a smile, hand out to shake the newcomer's hand and guide them further inside. I'm Gidget. Tristan. Welcome, Tristan. We're still waiting for more people to show up. You want to get a name tag for yourself? Oh, sure, thanks. I watched the 2 of them at the table, Gidget laughing nervously as Tristan marvels at the selection of pen colors. Already I can feel my hopes lift slightly. And lifts further still when the door creaks open again. A shy face peeking through as though unsure if they want to enter. Hi, come in. It's okay. Gidget pops up from the table, flutters a grin on their face as they trot back to the door. For the meetup? Yeah, comes a nervous response, but Gidget is quick to reassure them, inviting them in with a cheery laugh, pointing out the name tags and cookies and punch. There's a sudden cough next to me. I nearly jump, glancing up as Cecil takes another delicate sip of his tea. I hadn't even noticed he'd somehow move right beside me. You know what they say, you can lead a herrig to water, but you can't walk really fast or he'll die. I'm pretty sure the saying is supposed... Pretty sure that's not how the saying goes, but okay. I blink, look up at an object, but hold a minute. The Bible? No, Golden Girls. Okay, Cecil is starting to scream me for some reason. I feel like Cecil is personally just being me for no reason. Wait, Oh wait, no, I remember. I'm pretty sure Sophia said that in the show, right? You can lead a herring to water, but you have to walk really fast or he'll die. Love it. Notice it before he turns to his heels and returns back to the table. I say nothing. Sim simply start staring as he pours himself a second cup. 5 years living with this man, and I understand him less than when we first met. Which is a feat, really. But now is not the time to be worried about Cecil's social oddities, because already a third person walked through the door. So I stand a little side on my knees and push my glasses in my nose and try to find my best socially pleasing smile. Time to do my best with Gidget. Nine people in total end up arriving at the first night. Not a critic wowing number by any means, but certainly more than I thought had or and would had would, and enough to keep Gidget smiling and flustered and happy all throughout the evening. I could see it in their face, in the delighted glint in their eyes, the grilly trill of their voice. This means the world to them. People coming together like this, being around them, sharing stories, laughing, exchanging anecdotes and frivolities. I find myself less enthused, but I do my best to speak when spoken to, focusing more on how I reveal how relieved I feel just seeing Gidget happy. It's only when Gidget starts to catch me looking at them, snarky little grit on their face as they lift their brow, that I realize that I'm being a bit too obvious. So I try harder to fit in and be normal. I'm the only ace there, which isn't surprising. We're not exactly taking over the population anytime soon. I also appear to be the only introvert. Or at the very least, the one socially awkward, eye contact avoiding, hand bumbling wallflower of the group. Because no one else seems to have any trouble keeping the conversation flowing, whereas after two back and forth with me, it ends in awkward silence. Then again, I suppose most people like me wouldn't willingly choose to go to a meetup like this on their own. Well, what can I say? I'm a creep, I'm a weirdo. What the hell am I doing here? You're here for Gidget, you idiots. Yes I am. Thankfully at some point the casual chatting ends and we form a more official circle, sitting down with our punch and our sandwiches as Gidget thanks everyone and expounds on their hopes and dreams for the meetup, and Lambrook itself. We do more introductions, icebreakers, a few silly games. I can feel my social battery draining continuously, but it's okay, I've got this. I can stay mostly quiet, I'm good at that. Hey, Cecil said barely more than a few words. I'm doing a lot better than him. That's because Cecil thrives on impassivity. And tea. Of which he's on his 5th cup. How does he sleep at night? I stare down at my own empty glasses as I listen to a young woman delineate in great detail how she navigates her online circles and how she's writing a book and looking for agents. It's quite interesting and something I'd probably actually be interested in, given its gay fantasy. But even my normally acute listening skills are beginning to wane as I feel my walls close further and further in. I can't keep my attention at all. My head feels muddy. I rather wish I was at home wrapped up in a blanket right now, hacking away at something in one of my games. Despite my inattentiveness, I don't miss Gidget throwing me a concerned glance from across the circle. To which I instantly straighten and smile and pretend everything's alright. The last thing I need is for them to be worried about me, when I'm the one who's there to support them. Get it together, Iggy. This lasts for another hour or so more, after which the formal gathering ends and people are encouraged to come to the next meetup and invite their friends. About half leave. The other half continues to loiter, eating more of the snacks. Gidget encourages people to take a bunch home. What are they going to do with all this food after all? And chatting amongst those they really hit it off with. I, of course, hit it off with no one. But that's to be expected. And I'm quite finished for the night. I slink back somewhat subconsciously towards one of the corners of the event room, pacing back and forth idly, hands in my pockets, gaze gaze traveling listlessly from the wall to the ground, then back to the wall again, hearing but not really listening to the chatter behind me. I am so engrossed in my own little world that I don't even hear the footsteps approach, nor the quiet utterance of my name. And it's only when Gidget's hands find my shoulder that I give a little start and turn to face them, eyes wide, blinking in befuddlement. Hey, they say softly, brows uh, low in apparent concern. You okay? Huh? Oh, yeah, just a shrug, a laugh. You know me. Yeah, I do. Their brows arc, but I hear them hum beneath their breath. Then they're tugging my wrist, urging me towards the door. Come on, they simply say. And when I balk in confusion, they smile, throw a quick glance back at Cecil. Could you clean up the leftovers for me? Cecil blinks from behind the 10th cup of tea. What? I hear. I can hear the tiny squeak of displeasure in the back of their throat. But Gidget just laughs and keeps pulling me towards the door. Pulls me until we're out of the bright event room and out into the dim quietude of the Lambrook night. Nothing but the soft light of the occasional lamppost following the sidewalk up, around and past the pond to the parking lot beyond. Let's take a walk. Walk? Yeah, I need a bit of quiet. How about you? My gaze droops, lips trembling for a moment before curling into a soft smile. Mm. Then her hand finds mine, fingers intertwining softly as we begin down the dimly lit path around the pond. Aww, this is so cute. It's wonderful. Quiet, dark, still, nothing but the sound of cicadas and frogs, the occasional brush of the breeze against my cheeks. I let my eyes flutter closed, just let myself melt into all that blessed calm, allowing the soft touch of Gidget's hand to guide me slowly, easily down the path. It's in that moment that I feel a strange sense of otherworldliness. Yes, I've done this before, haven't I? Both of us have. It's almost like I can feel the ghost of Gidget's hand joining mine from across some ethereal threshold that I can't quite explain, can't quite grasp. The two of us walking home. Hearts bright. Shoes clapping against the cobblestone. I've been afraid though. Afraid of what? Of telling something important? My eyes flutter back open, and I turn to look at them, their profile warm and handsome, backdrop by the gentle glow of the streetlights and the moon beyond. I'm sorry, I say without prompting. Sorry? Gage's last return. Sorry for what? My gaze flicks down the sidewalk, jumping from crack to crack. I was kind of a bump on the log in there. Iggy, you're perfect. This makes me blink, glance back up. I know this isn't your thing, that it's hard for you. The fact that you even showed up at all, that was enough. It already means the world to me. I sniff around my nose. Miguel's still tugging my heart, though a bit less now. Gidget gives me my hand a small squeeze. I mean it, really. Hey now, funny face. Don't give me that wishy-washy mumble of half-ass acceptance. I require full asses in my conversation. And don't tell me you're gonna ask me to strip and jump in the pond. Gidget laughs at this, a big, full-hearted belly laugh. The sound of it is like soda pop to my ears, bubbly and sweet. This isn't camp, and we're not 12 years old anymore. I'll let you forego the skinny dipping. You have to admit it was pretty entertaining though, till Orlum almost drowned. Yeah, if it weren't for that scrawny little fucker, we wouldn't have been caught. Mental image of Orlum's skinny arms flailing up and down out of the water as Gidget and Genzo and I had looked in horror fills my own belly with laughter. That certainly hadn't been the smartest thing we'd ever done. Not that we had a track record of intelligent antics to begin with. We were always running around getting up to one thing or another. Nowadays I can't even walk to the store without running out of breath. Icky Maxwell, you are not that out of shape. I'm telling you, I'm basically a decaying slug at this point. I hold up my arms in what's supposed to be some kind of sluggish agony, but it mostly just comes out as dying raptor. Gidget laughs. Then uses the opportunity to snatch my messenger bag off his shoulder, immediately leaping into a sprint, taking off across the grass towards the pond. What the heck? It takes me moments for my brain to catch up, then I'm dashing after them. Come and get it, Mrs. Slug. I'm gonna throw you into that pond. You'll have to catch me first. I essentially slapped again at the damp grass as I go barreling along. Breath hot on my lips. This fucker. I can see their blonde bobble of a head bounce as it turns back to me. A squeal of laughter. Then it turns back, both of us racing along the line of the pond. Two almost 30-year-olds running pell-mell through a public park at night. What the hell is wrong with us? My heart is thumping with adrenaline now, but it's a good thrum, a welcome thrum, a thrum that makes me feel alive and free. Much like the annoying blonde currently streaking across the grass in front of me. And at some point they must slow down so slightly, or perhaps I somehow speed up without realizing it. Though considering my spindly legs and towering knees, I highly doubt that. Either way, I'm getting close enough that I can almost reach an arm out and fingers taut and straining. Then Gidget just slides to a abrupt halt. I crash straight into the back. Two of us go flying and tumbling across the grass. I can't tell up from down for a good minute or so, even after I come to a dizzying grass-stained stop. What the heck was that? I groaned as I spit out a wad of dirt that had gotten lodged into my teeth and wiped it this morning on my arm. Gidget just laughs. They laugh and they laugh, rolled into a ball onto that damp knoll, their hair bright beneath the moonlight. Until they start to cough, which just makes them laugh even harder. And finally they flop onto their back, chest heaving and heavy, and gaze pointing straight starward. That was fun. That was ridiculous. You don't like midnight sprints around the pond? I don't like sprints, period. Hey, you didn't crumble into oblivion though, Mr. Slug. Probably from the adrenaline. Just wait until we get home and it wears off. I'll melt all over the floor. Gross. I'll make Cecil clean it up. I push myself on my arms a little wobble, crawl towards them. The night breeze wakes at the sweat on my forehead as my lungs continue to burn. I clasp it enervated sigh next to them, making it clear that I'm mildly annoyed, but not that annoyed. Otherwise, I wouldn't bring my head towards their shoulder. Seek out the warmth of their skin in the chill. The both of us simply stare up at the sky, chest still rasping, but slowly smoothing out. Our breath in time with one another. Two small shadows amongst the black. And simply taking in the stars. Once again, that feeling hits me, stronger this time, to the point I feel it buzzing and snip-snapping across my skin. A vague notion. Not even vague. Quite sharp, actually. A visceral notion that we've done this before. Laid like this atop the cold grass. Dew wet against our backs. Sharing a moment at threshold. Unsure of what would come next. But knowing that no matter what, at least we would have each other and the connections we'd share. Gidget? Silence for a moment. I listen to him breathe, the chest slow and even now. And finally, yeah, I feel it too. As though they'd known what I'd been going to say all along. It's weird, isn't it? And though I search the stars for an answer, none come. Only a vast, wide sea of more questions, more tingling thoughts, synapses buried deep inside my brain. Memories that flash through my head so fast that I can't even comprehend what they are, who they are. Can only feel them. Feel them as though they happened yesterday. Love, pain, fear, joy. It hits me so hard that my frame begins to tremble, the whole of it quickly overwhelming my system. As though Gidget finds my hand finds mine. And we face down all together. The shaking stops, my breathing slowing. My breath slowing, the stars untwist themselves as they blur back into reality. Sometimes I dream, Iggy. Gidget's voice is soft and dark, hesitant. Dream about places I've never seen, yet feel more real than when I wake up. Mine is a home of acknowledgement, of resonance, a connection both of us can feel. Sometimes they're terrifying, filled with emotions I can't control. As though I'm watching someone else in my body. Not far from us, a frog ribbits in the dark, strangely hollow sounding. Other times they're filled with hope, change, something warm inside of me, something I'd kept hidden for so long, finally shining through. The breeze whispers again against my cheek, and for a moment, I'm no longer lying in the grass outside a lakeside event center. I'm somewhere dark, somewhere dank. the water up to my ankles. A strange sense of wonder welling up inside of me, despite a sharp nagging pain biting at my shoulder and heart. Then something tickles my hand. I jerk away with a yelp. What the heck is that? I sit up, eyes frantically searching the grass. Next to me, Gidget sits up too, though with decidedly more calm. They look for a moment, then smile, curl their finger towards the long blade of grass, and allow a small spider to crawl up to their hand. Ew, I mumble in acute discomfort. Gidget just laughs and watches it. Yeah, I used to hate him too, or at least I think I did. The spider scuttles across my palm, long legs and gangly. Legs long and gangly, but now I kinda like them. I watch as they place the spider back carefully into the grass on the other side away from me. Please don't tell me you're getting a tarantula next. I think I'll die. Gidget laughs, but bright bubbly in the dark. What, you don't like the idea of a big hairy spider staring at you from across the room? Not when I'd be the one to clean up after it. The sudden new voice makes us both jump. Hello, Cecil. I turn back to see Cecil glowering from us at the sidewalk, because that doesn't seem to be the lot of my life lately. He's got bags of leftovers and supplies lugged up under his arms as he stares with increasingly tangible vitriol. You cleaned up everything already? Gidget brushes a few blades of grass out of their hair, turning back towards Cecil. I was gonna come back and help with the rest. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. You're so dramatic. You're so lazy. Lazy? I'll have you know I just happen to have had myself a blood-pumping jog. They hold their arms up as though showing off their muscles. Must have gotten double my normal steps for the day. Double of nothing is still nothing. Cecil trudges towards us across the grass, unimpressed. Gidget opens their mouth to retort, only for Cecil to sit down promptly and on the back of their shoulders, forcing their upper half to bend forward at the decidedly uncomfortable-looking angle. Cecil! Gidget lets out a strangled squawk. Cecil just looks down at me with a frown. Trouble always does come in twos. Trouble is gonna come up your ass if you don't get the hell off of me. Gidget finally manages to push Cecil off onto the grass between us. I watch with a laugh as he lies there for a moment before slowly rising to a seat, nonplussed as he maneuvers his hair back into place. You sure that isn't threes? I smirk, dust scattering off of grass off his knee. Don't lump me in with the two of you. I'm only in this for the low cost housing. Gidget rips a chunk of the grass at dirt and throws it at Cecil. I'm never buying your stupid PG tips again. Cecil blinks in apathy. Alas. But that doesn't stop him from lying down between us. And soon Gidget follows suit. I'm quick to join. The three of us just sitting up in the night sky outside of Lakeside Event Center, hearts connected by something imperceptible, quiet but thrumming with shared memories, shared feelings, shared thoughts. I smile upwards at the twinkling stars. Let my eyes flutter closed as the breeze dust my cheeks. I'm really happy I decided to come tonight. Okay, did you get a little picture at the ending? Oh, look at them. Holly Trolley, you completed the after story for every love interest. You're truly the what? I couldn't read that. You're truly the apple of every eye. Aww. This is amazing. I absolutely love this game so much. I really like the song too. Gidget After Story End. Thank you for playing. Wow. Honestly, I'm glad I did this. I'm glad I played this remaster. This is by far one of the best remasters I've ever played in my life. But yeah, I think this is gonna do it for the series for now. The series is officially finished, so thank you guys so much for joining me on this journey with our Wonderland Remastered. Be sure to leave a like, comment what you think, share this video with your friends, and be sure to subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss a single notification. I'll see all of you in the next video. Goodbye!
Hey.